Well, hello, and welcome to another fully functional and fully occupied Bloke in a Pub. And just to underscore that point, in the press, and certainly in the financial press, there's been a lot of discussion about the value of commercial property investment, and particularly the speculation that the office is dead as a result of COVID-19. It's really interesting, actually, and it underscores a fundamental principle in the way we see investments, which is we tend to overestimate the present and underestimate the future. We see a number of examples of this from the past. So, for example, when there was the first flood on the African plains 65 million years ago, proto-humans communicated to each other that the cave was dead, which obviously proved not to be the case. After 9/11, and I'm not diminishing 9/11 in any way, shape or form, but after 9/11, there was widespread speculation very quickly that skyscrapers would not be built anymore. And clearly that is not the case. So we have to be a little bit circumspect about predicting the demise of all office space as a result of COVID-19. Now, the transition in office space has been underway for a considerable period before COVID-19. So the idea of having endless, bland, featureless working cubicles, for example, is no longer the case. And we've been moving incrementally towards flexible working, which accommodates how people want to work, the culture of a company, and what their objectives are. COVID-19 has really just accelerated, or in fact, highly polarised that, because we've had to be at home for a little while, so offices have had to be vacant. But going forward, social animals don't do well in isolation and being alienated from their fellow human beings. So what we'll probably see is, definitely with the advent of a vaccine, is there'll be a revenge rush back to office space just to embrace colleagues that you haven't seen for a long time, and to have corporeal proximity with another human being. Going forward, it's likely that the transition towards offices as a hub for collaboration and creative integration of people, where people can come and meet based upon the weekly demands of their job, will become more common. And we will see a separation in offices between those that accomplish that objective and those that really don't move forward. And by way of example, what we might be looking for in a hub, which would be to attract top talent, which is another function of the psychosocial environment that the office creates. Let's just do a quick tour of a really good example of a high-end office hub. And in designing your high-end office hub to attract Generation Z and top talent, you'd need a minibar, a breakout area, possibly a multi-channel TV with Netflix and other streaming systems, an enormously oversized fridge, obviously with very little in it, but room for your esoteric lunches, interesting pieces of art. So what might then happen is to office spaces that don't or can't adapt, they might be converted to other functions. So they might be converted to residences or retail and adapted that way. Or some workspaces, like, for example, out-of-town call centres, where you don't need to have people coming into space, they can work from home quite adequately, might well close. What it really talks to is an ongoing trend where anyone who is investing in commercial property, whether it's an individual or a fund, will have to adapt their investment strategy over time. And all COVID-19 has really done is accelerate the pace of that change and the rate at which investors have to adapt. Why is that important? Because our portfolios have a significant investment, 5% or more, in commercial property. At the moment, that's run for us by M&G. And they will be adapting their strategy going forward. It's an integral part of the portfolio because it's not correlated with other asset classes, so it smooths the ride of your investment. It's an important asset to have as a diversifier, and we wouldn't be divesting ourselves from it, but only so long as the fund manager is obviously adapting to emerging trends, which they seem to be. Anyway, on that note, with an office that's fully open and waiting for you to come and visit, we'll see you next time.